Hello, everyone. Good afternoon from India. I am Neha Jain, founder and CEO at Daily Glee. And today I have with me a very beautiful and inspiring lady, Miss Juliana Frommter from Germany. Juliana is a director at German Accelerator, and she's a very good friend of mine. Hi, Juliana. Thank you so much for being here today. And I am really excited to, have some personal chat rather than always we go on an event and talk very formal. But this, we are trying to, we are trying to get it totally reverse model where we are going, totally non-formal. So yes, Juliana, welcome again. And thank you so much for being here. Juliana, before we start the conversation, and as you know, the topic, we are talking about health and wellness of the women, and this is a need of an hour. I want to go back to the time, and I want to, I want to just have a little bit sneak peek over your career, over your lifetime. How did you get here? So, here, my first question to you is, when did it start, Juliana? When did you thought I want to become an entrepreneur and I want to go all out? This is my kind of work which I want to do. So how did it started?
Yeah, I think I was a bit of a late bloomer. I grew up in the east of Germany, and at the time when left high school, there was a lot of unemployment in that part of the country, and I didn't see a lot of possibility around me. So eventually, I moved away from home to find better opportunities in the western part of Germany. And from there, I think exposure grew and all my goals grew from there as well. And there were, lots of ups and downs. I had very early exposure to the threats and hopes of digitization. um,
I'm sure, yeah.
in very early stages of my career that always, give me another turn. But ultimately, I think it all started when I entered the tech scene. I started working for EMC in 2008, and then subsequently, I moved on to the startup landscape. I worked for three different startups in sales and business development roles, and ultimately decided to move towards the startup enablement side,
Yes.
which ultimately coincided with me moving to India and making
Yes.
that jump
I think
into
we,
that
we
very
both met
exciting
in India
business.
first. Yes. I remember meeting you at T Hub.
Yeah, exactly,
Yes.
exactly. So yeah, that's kind of the journey. And as I got more exposure to other entrepreneurs, I think that kind of spirit grew and grew. And so
How
yeah,
did
that
you balance, Juliana? Was the culture, the German culture is totally different from the Indian culture, right? So initially, tell us some, memorable incident when you landed in India, and then, obviously the ups and downs, but something which, hit your memory, and if you remember those things still now, your experience in India.
Yeah, I think, there's so many small incidents on a daily basis that hit you, and when you're in it, sometimes you don't even fully digest or appreciate. So a lot of the learning actually happened since I came back last year. And now that we are in this situation, even more so, you have a lot more time to actually reflect and digest. And, it settled a very, large gratefulness about my time in India. Interesting insights. Like that's one I bring up very commonly when people ask me that question is I arrived in 2016,
Mm-hmm.
and the speed of the bureaucracy is obviously not that high. So it took me a couple of months before I was fully registered and all of that. And that had an impact of me having a bank account. So
Uh-huh.
by the time demonetization hit in, like, I think it was November or early December in
Yeah. Yeah.
2016, I didn't have a bank account yet, and that
Oh,
was like a major problem because I didn't, like, cash was nothing anymore, and so I
of
was
course. Yeah.
receiving part of my salary in cash, and
Oh,
I was like, okay, even how am I even getting out of the house now? And so you're like very much exposed to the struggle that, your average Indian person would have on a very daily basis.
I'm sure.
And so I think that was a very profound experience for
And then
me.
how did you manage? Did you have enough friends? The network, I'm sure you have built an amazing network at the Herbs. I remember you were doing international startup exposure, right? So does that help? And you have seen the entrepreneurship very closely, right? So
Mhm.
tell us, what is that one thing which is really different, obviously in India and in Germany? That's a common question, but doing it as a female entrepreneur and doing it as a male entrepreneur, what's experience are there?
I think the challenge with female entrepreneurs is almost equally high. Even Germany has a very low number of female entrepreneurs.
Yep.
In Germany, you have a tendency to have, engineers as your CEOs. Like it's a very tech heavy, so there's more commonalities actually with India.
Hmm.
But in these subjects, you see even lesser women, I think, in Germany,
Yep.
uh, because we have a slightly better job market, I think, for social sciences, etc. So a lot of women are playing on those fields, possibly business, etc., but not necessarily on the core tech subjects.
Yes.
And sometimes, as women, we think if I don't fully understand it myself, maybe I shouldn't be doing it, which is very different between men and women. I observed that quite a while ago, and I kind of made that a mantra, and I think um, that kind of accelerated my career as well. At some point, I realized that, men, they don't say I don't fulfill 100 or 120% of that job description.
Yeah.
They say, well, I'll figure it, right? Like, and let me try this out, and and
Yeah.
that's how you grow. That's how you close that gap. And so I just adopted that and just figured, no, I can't be held up by things I don't know. Let me try to figure it out. And usually you're not alone. You have people around you, have network around you. And, that's been a very freeing experience.
Yes, yes. So let's go to the postal life, Juliana. I'm sure a lot of excitement there as well. So tell us something about your family, your relationship, and managing work, traveling globally. Obviously,
Yeah.
Germany, India. How is that working out for you?
Yeah. So I don't have my own family yet, but obviously I have parents, grandparents, siblings and so on. So for
Yeah.
the time I was away, it was quite hard. And specifically in the last year that I was in India,
Uh huh.
a couple of my family members were actually in the hospital at various occasions,
Oh,
which
okay.
also ultimately made me decide to come back, like to
Mm-hmm.
find a way
Mm-hmm.
to find my way back to Germany.
Yep.
So yeah, I think these kind of decisions are, quite fundamental and you
Yes.
know straighten you in terms of like what comes first, and health is obviously something that is super important.
Yep.
um, you never know, like, when a finite state of some disease or whatever hits,
Yes.
and
Yes.
you want to be around, you want to be close to them. So that was my biggest pain, I think, that I couldn't be there with them in the hospital and be on their side.
Yeah.
So yeah,
But
even
now,
if
now,
I
now
feel a
you're
bit
all there.
more.
Now you're all there.
Well, I'm very glad I came back because my
Yeah.
grandfather passed within this year.
Oh, I'm
So
so sorry. Yeah.
no, that's okay. It was age, so it was coming. But I'm
Mhm.
more so glad that I took the decision to be here and to spend some more months closer to them, and now be there for my grandmother who is now on her
That's so
own. So
nice.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
I think those are important decisions. It's not always just work that comes first.
I
So
totally agree. And then especially we as females, we have our emotional sides too. And then balancing it out, it takes all the tools. So what keeps you going and what keeps you motivated in life, Juliana?
I think it is somehow to have like a bigger vision. Like I always, like I'm very future focused. I don't
Yeah.
dwell too much on things in the past, other than you try to learn and
Yeah.
make it better, become a better person yourself.
Mm-hmm.
But ultimately, I think I always have something in front of me which motivates me, and I think that's to a large part something I learned in India and with my like T Hub experience, thinking a little bigger,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
some more than I can probably chew at the moment, but
Mhm.
it kind of keeps you going and strive to
Yes.
reach somewhere while enjoying the path itself. And often these visions for the future, they change in certain ways, but it's important to believe in something bigger than
Yes.
yourself, I think.
Of course, I totally agree to you on that. And sometimes it's there are situations where we are stuck in a dual mindset. We are stuck where we don't know what decisions to make. So, was there any point in your life where you think those kind of, and how did you choose out of those decisions? Because many women's, right? And why this question, Juliana, is most of the women around the world are stuck between family, work, relationship, and then the decision is always, it's tilted down towards, family and keeping oneself behind. So, what do you think, Juliana, has helped you make those right decisions in your life?
I don't know about right, like we can only judge in retrospect, and I'm happy for most of the decisions I took. I think one fundamental moment was for me to leave like a corporate career.
Mm-hmm.
I figured that the career path that you envision, or that you like almost adopt to make your own, I realized actually this is just a typical career progression in this company
Yeah.
and maybe in similar
Yeah.
companies. But that has nothing to do with what I want or how I feel about things. And I realized, okay, so what I actually wanted to do wasn't really possible. People were thinking this is not like, or that just doesn't work in the lines of career progression in this organization. I figured, no, this, I need to own this. I can't just follow some preset path from other
Yeah.
people. I think
Yeah.
that was like a fundamental shift of me. Whenever I don't like an environment, or if it just doesn't serve me, I just I decide to move on. I don't stuck around and fight it out. I don't think our time here is too short to endure these kind of things. And I think there is
Yes.
always better things out there. The grass on the other side is
Yeah.
always also green. And there's more to
Yes.
learn.
Yes.
And I adopted a less fearless attitude to these kind of decisions.
Awesome. So let's talk about health, maintaining your health, maintaining your balance. So obviously, at least nowadays the trend, and we all have faced a global pandemic
Mhm.
together. And now we all know where are we and what is more important in life. So how do you encourage yourself, and how would you like to encourage other females to think about oneself and our health first, then thinking about others? Of course it's important, but then if we are not healthy, we can't keep others happy, right? So how do you maintain your balance there?
Is a combination of things for me. I think time on my own is very important to stay mentally healthy, like reflect on what's going on,
Yeah.
etc. So I think that's one very important part, even before physical health
Yes.
itself. So and everybody, I think, needs to find their own way on how to find that place, or give themselves what they need
Mm-hmm.
in terms of what serves me to maintain that I don't know, soft but still strong attitude to what's coming up in life. On the fitness side, like I've never been a big fitness buff, to be honest. But as we grow a little older, I think I'm also realizing that it, needs to be, even if it's not extensive, there always needs to be a small part in day-to-day
Mm.
life that focuses on that. And actually, the pandemic also showed
Yeah.
me that how important it is. For a couple of months, I was actually sitting a lot at home, and eventually, I really felt like
Yeah.
the need to move.
Yeah.
Um, in 2018, I had a bit of a virus that never really got like
Mm.
never. I don't know until today what kind of virus it is. But it had quite an effect on me, and I had side effects for like a long period of time. So I kind of stopped my yoga practice, and I found it very difficult to get back because
Yeah.
I would feel very exhausted very quickly, and I would just not enjoy any program that would go longer than 15 minutes.
Oh,
Yeah, so and most classes are like an hour at least,
yes.
right? So I'm
Yes.
like, I can't do that, and I found it very difficult to find a way to re-enter without like straining myself and lose, you need to enjoy it as well. You can't just force
Yes.
yourself into
Yes.
it, right? So, and then through the pandemic, I actually developed like a very simple practice of like walking on a daily basis, at least for 30 minutes, if not an hour,
Yeah. Yeah.
and a little 6 to 7 minutes, intensive aerobic training.
Uh-huh.
That wouldn't stretch this boundary, but eventually would help me to build up some more stamina that I may have lost through that virus. So I think that may be
Yeah.
very helpful for some people who've also been affected by corona
Yes.
to
Yes.
ultimately find their way back in some, exercise. These
Yeah.
viruses can be very, hard on your body, and yeah,
Absolutely.
whatever we are hearing right now, it doesn't look very promising. Some
Yes.
people struggle
Yes.
for a while.
It's important. And do you agree to a point, Juliana, where I always speak to so many, even you do, right? So many women entrepreneurs and the entire network around us, right? Women, inspiring women who are doing so good in their career and all. And I always keep on asking them, do you think it's important to raise the voice, motivate other females to look, go out, but of course look after yourself. So what do you think can be hacks, I would call it as small breaks, hacks, where where every one of us, it's kind of a chain movement where one woman giving back to the other and inspiring. How do you think that can be incorporated along with all those activities we are doing in day to day life?
Yeah, I thought about this quite a bit, and I ultimately came to a place where you can preach a lot, and a lot of people do that, and
Yes.
I feel like me showing up actually and showing like a broader picture of myself, and even speaking to you today as part of that, and I had a very similar talk a couple of days ago, um, showing some vulnerability, and I think that may change ultimately the way for women to show up, and that we don't have to emulate how men behave in the
Yes.
workplace.
Yes.
And that us being the way we are is absolutely valuable.
Yeah.
Maybe as a background, um, Mm, and that's part of where I grew up, right? I
Yeah.
mentioned this earlier. In the east of Germany, all our mothers were working. I never questioned my place in the workplace. That never came to my mind. Only when I left home, I realized that not everybody feels like that.
Yes.
But I think my, very um, profound understanding that this is that I'm okay, like really,
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
I think is what I think I can bring to the table, not consistently questioning my place. I'm here, and yeah, if you don't like it, that's absolutely your problem. I don't. I don't give a damn, really.
That I think that's the way we should be, right? That's the way we should look at things. Because as you rightly mentioned sometime before, mental health is more important than the physical health.
Yeah,
And nowadays the hot topic is mental wellness, more than the
yeah,
physical wellness. So I really echo that point of yours, that okay, I am like that, I want to be like that, so what? Just let it let it be, however it is.
yeah.
So
And it won't be like a sharp transition, and especially in parts of the world where there may be some more gap between women and men, or certain industries, etc.,
yeah,
right? But
yeah,
I see more and more men who actually make very strong points and are very supportive.
yes,
um, so I'm very optimistic in that scenario, and I see a lot of very strong women showing up and finding their own circles, etc. So I'm
yeah, yeah.
quite optimistic. I don't worry too much about it.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And Juliana, we are coming towards the end. So as decided, 20 minutes of chat. I want you to quickly give some inspiration to the other women out there, about work, not giving it up, because most of the women entrepreneurs we work with, they see the difficulty and they just go back. So how do you want to motivate them, and then of course giving them inspiration about maintaining balance in their life?
Yeah, I think it's all about giving yourself tangible goals, and creating those small successes and also celebrate them.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's important, and then find other like women around you who are on the same journey.
Yes, yes.
I think that's the
And
most
one
important.
more
We're
important
not,
point: face the failure.
yeah, absolutely. I think that's a given for entrepreneurs. And I'm not even sure if failure is
Yeah.
a good word to describe it. It's better to speak of learnings.
Yes.
Um, if it's not the end, then it's always a learning.
Yeah. Yeah. Agree.
So, and how can it be the end anyways? We always move forward. I think that's what we've always done as women. And that's
That's
how
great.
I think that's how we operate in
Yeah.
many
Yeah.
parts of
Yeah.
life.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. Just
Agree.
bring it in there, bring it right there as well.
Awesome. I think wonderful piece of advice. Like, be there, right there. And second thing is, it's never a failure. It's always a learning. So just go face it, and the world is open for you. So
Correct, correct.
I think, yeah, that's a very good piece of advice, Juliana. Awesome, Juliana. I think we are bang on time, and thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
you know
Lovely to speak to
yeah,
you.
yeah, yeah. So it's like, keeping all the formal things aside, and just talking about the natural thing, and the things which we are promoting is, go close to nature, bring balance in your life, everything will get sorted out automatically. And
Absolutely.
yeah, Juliana, and I think, people like you, people like me, people like other women out there whom we know in a network, together, if given a chance, the things will definitely change. Yeah.
Yeah. No, thanks a lot, Neha. Lovely speaking to you.
Same here.
Wonderful way to start the day.
Absolute pleasure, and you have a very, very good day. It's early morning there in Germany, and cold weather, so you please take care of yourself.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Neha. Namaste to India.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Always. Bye
Bye.
bye. Take care,
Bye.
Yula.